The Dolphins return to Atlanta, a city that feels strangely distant despite being just a short drive away. 8 hours by road. Yet it's been years since Miami last stepped into Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This place doesn't carry the weight of history for them. Not yet, but something about it feels unfinished, as if there's a memory still lingering, waiting to be revisited. The last time they were here, they left with victory clenched at the edge of the game. That one moment, Reza Jones cutting across the red zone and snatching a pass meant for someone else. It sealed more than just a win. It was the kind of play that stays in the blood of a team. Now, almost a decade later, there's another name carrying that same kind of defensive spark, Minkah Fitzpatrick. A first-rounder who left, made his mark elsewhere, and came back with the kind of edge that only time and a few scars can bring. He's been playing everywhere, doing everything, bending and stretching his game to fill every crack that injuries have opened in the secondary. Sometimes in the slot, sometimes deep, sometimes just watching from the back and deciding when to strike. The numbers say he's allowing a passer rating of 77.1, but that barely captures what he's been for this defense, the hinge, the voice, the quiet control. This week, though it won't be quiet, Atlanta's offense has been loud, unpredictable, fast, and Fitzpatrick will have to be everything again. The Falcons' attack isn't just built on talent, it's layered, like they keep a trick in every pocket. Kyle Pitts has finally started looking like the player he was drafted to be. Faster off the line, sharper in his routes, using his size in ways that make defenders uncomfortable. He doesn't just play tight end. He moves like he's rewriting the position. He lines up wide, inside, tight, splitting coverages and creating chaos. Then there's Drake London. The size, the timing, the way he turns small windows into opportunities. It's not flashy, but it's ruthless. He's been one of the top 10 receivers in the slot this year. A stat that means little until you realize how much it forces defenses to adapt. Miami knows that. They've watched tape. They've seen what happens when London gets space inside. And they know Fitzpatrick might have to step right into that chaos and take it personally. And somewhere behind it all, like a constant hum, is Bijan Robinson. He's been running through defenses like they're built from air. 46 missed tackles, 524 yards. And a rhythm that feels more like instinct than strategy. Watching him run, you can sense the discomfort in defenses, that half-second of hesitation when they think they've got him lined up. And then he's gone. Anthony Weaver, Miami's defensive coordinator, said he sees glimpses of old greats in him. Maybe Chris Johnson's burst, maybe Falk's grace. But what matters now isn't the comparison. It's the challenge. The Dolphins know what's coming. The question is whether they can hold it when it arrives. The Falcons have been rebuilding, reshaping, trying to create an identity that sticks. Their defense, in particular, feels new. Jeff Ulbrich came in this offseason, carrying the weight of his experience from New York, and brought with him a kind of intensity that shows on every snap. They went out and added pieces to fit that image. Dante Fowler, back in the mix. 2 young edge rushers in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., and a pair of rookie safeties who play with no fear at all. Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr., names not many outside Atlanta talk about yet, but they've been part of the reason this defense sits atop the league in pass defense. Just 144.5 yards allowed through the air per game. 7 interceptions. Youth, speed, aggression. It's working. Miami's offense, though, isn't just another test for them. It's a storm. Even without Darren Waller, the Dolphins' rhythm still feels dangerous. There's Devon Achane, who runs like every play might be his last, and Jalen Waddle, the receiver who somehow moves faster than he looks. Together, they've been more than half the team's total offensive yardage. Every defense knows what's coming, and yet, stopping it is a different story. Still, this matchup feels heavier than just numbers. Miami's undefeated record in Mercedes-Benz Stadium doesn't mean much statistically, but there's something psychological about returning to a place you've never lost. A kind of subtle energy that hangs in the air before kickoff. Players feel it, even if they don't say it out loud. And there's another layer, the uncertainty, the injuries, the adjustments, the what-ifs that come with every game. Fitzpatrick's flexibility has covered so much already, but how much more can he stretch? How long can this secondary hold up when every week brings another shift in personnel, another test of endurance? Atlanta doesn't shy away from forcing those questions. They mix formations, disguise intentions, test your patience. They'll line up heavy and then throw deep. They'll look soft and then send pressure from nowhere. It's not chaotic, it's deliberate. And that's exactly what Miami has to mirror. The control inside the unpredictability. You can feel something brewing in this Dolphins defense, though. There's a tone to the way they talk about responsibility, not loud, but determined. It's the kind of attitude that comes when players stop thinking about roles and start thinking about accountability. Fitzpatrick embodies that. He doesn't need to shout it. He shows it. One drive he's covering a tight end across the seam. The next he's in the box chasing down a running back before the first down marker. Every snap, every angle, it's layered with intent. The Dolphins have been leaning into this defensive identity, even as their offense continues to draw the spotlight. Weaver's system has pushed players to adapt, to think, to move with purpose. It's not perfect, far from it, but it's evolving in real time, and that's what makes it compelling. On the offensive side, there's always the question of rhythm. Without Waller, there's a gap in the middle of the field that can't just be filled with one player. It changes how the Dolphins move the ball, how they spread the defense. A chain's burst might become the release valve, while Waddle's precision routes could carry even more weight. There's no hiding behind balance anymore. This game might demand creativity more than structure. Atlanta will blitz. They've done it all season, leading the league, with nearly 40% of plays, sending extra pressure. It's an identity they've built on purpose, and it forces quarterbacks to make fast, uncomfortable decisions. They don't always get home. Tied for 14th in sacks, just 24th in pressure rate. But the effect is cumulative. It wears you down. It turns every down into a test of poise. And that's where Miami's offensive line comes in. It's been an uneven season for them. Flashes of control mixed with moments of confusion. They'll need more than just technical execution against Atlanta. They'll need calm. Because this isn't the kind of defense you can beat with predictability. Every play will demand a different read, a different counter. There's a sense that this game might come down to composure. Who holds it longer? Who bends without breaking? The Dolphins know the stakes. They've been trying to prove that this version of the team is more than just speed and flash. They want to be known for resilience, for the ability to win ugly when it's needed. And this matchup has all the makings of one of those games where everything feels like a grind. The noise in Atlanta won't help either. That stadium hums even when it's half full. It's engineered for energy, and once the game starts, it doesn't stop. Miami's been through it before, but every environment like this tests communication, timing, and nerves. Still, there's confidence, not arrogance, but belief. A sense that what they've been building, even through the ups and downs, is starting to take shape. Fitzpatrick's presence, a chain's explosiveness, Waddle's balance, Weaver's defense, it all feels connected. What happens in this game won't define the season, but it could reveal something about what this team really is when things tighten up. Can they adapt fast enough? Can they find rhythm against a defense that thrives on disruption? Can they match Atlanta's physicality snap after snap without losing their tempo? The Dolphins have been asking those questions all season. This trip to Atlanta, this return to a stadium where they've never lost, might finally offer some answers.